Okay, we're going to try something a little bit different here for your review for the quiz. So I gave you the review packet at the end of the class and said, hey, try it if you'd like. If you don't want to, that's fine. But your quiz is going to look like this, so it's probably a good idea if you try it and check your answers. So I've got the camera like right over top of me. It's going to be tough to write, so you'll have to excuse my writing if it looks messy, but I'm going to try to walk you through it. So it says solve for x, find measure of angle ABC and the measure of angle DBE. First thing that we always look for are, do we have straight lines? Well, yes, here's my straight line. Therefore, all of these angles add up to or have a sum of 180. X plus 2x plus 3x plus 4x equals 180. So now that I have that information, I can solve my equation. Remember, you are now allowed to use calculators, so if you need help with this, that's fine. X is really that imaginary 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So now I have 10x equals 180. That's combining like terms on the same side. Now we're trying to isolate the variable, which means we're moving something to the other side. Inverse operations. Inverse of multiplication is division. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 what? 1x. 180 divided by 10 is 18. So notice how here it has x degrees. I'm looking for x. Well, that's 18 degrees. Now, there's a little bit of a trick question here. The measure of angle ABC. Well, I find my points A, B, C. What is in that angle? Well, it's x. So where x is, I substituted in with my x, which is 18. So the measure of angle ABC is also 18 degrees. Then the measure of angle DBE. DBE is 3x. In order to do this, I substitute my x with what we solved for. So it's now 3 multiplied by 18. Get your calculators. Do 3 times 18, and you should get 54. It's early, so I'm double checking my own work. Oh, man. 3 times 18 equals 54. Remember, it's not just 54, but it's 54 degrees. Okay, so there's number 1. Number 2 is very much like your warm-up that we did on Thursday. So I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm making the video Thursday morning. Your warm-up's going to look very, very, very similar to this. So we've got 2 different things. The first thing that I told you to look for is look for a line. As soon as we have a line, we know that's going to be equal to 180. So I can solve for x because it's a straight line. So I'm going to come on this side, and I'm going to say, okay, so 140 plus x plus 20, because those are the 2 angles, equals 180. I'm going to move this over so you can see it. Combine like terms, make your balance point. Combine like terms is 160 plus x equals 180. Inverse operations, that's the additive inverse. Even though we're subtracting, it's really saying 160 plus a negative 160, that's 0. X then equals 20. So now I have x equaling 20. Notice how it doesn't at a degree, because there's other things with that x. So now we're with y. There are 2 ways to solve the y. If we know that this is going to be 20, if x is 20, I could say this is 40, and then I can try to solve that way. Or we can look and say, hey, these are vertical angles. Personally, that's how I would solve this. Vertical angles are formed by 2 intersecting straight lines. They're directly opposite or diagonal from each other. So now I'm going to say, okay, vertical angles are congruent, which also means exactly the same. The way that we show exactly the same is with our equal sign. So I'm going to say 140 equals 3y plus 20. So I might have put it too low, but that's all right. Going to subtract 20 from both sides. So that's the inverse operation. We're trying to isolate the y. We always move our constant first. 3y equals 120. I divide by 3. You can use your calculators, but that leaves me left over with y equals 40. Again, is that my degree? Nope, because there's other things with it. But it only asked for x and y. So now I'm left over with 40. So there's 1 and 2. Let's see, can you see everything? There we go. So now you can see everything on number 1 and number 2. Okay, number 3, we're looking for the measure of angle HAB. Well, HAB, so we're looking for this angle here. But before I can do that, I want to find what X is. So I have 2 different ways to do this. Most of you are going to look at this, forgetting Mr. H said, hey, look for a straight line first, and say, hey, the angles go all the way around. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. First, this little box right here means it's a right angle or 90 degrees. So we can say, oh man, we can have a big way. So here's one way. First way is going to be 90 plus 20. So I'm just going all the way around. Plus 70 plus 3x plus 2x plus 70 equals 360. That's the first equation I could make. So now 90 plus 20 is 110. 110 plus 70 is 180. 180 plus 70 is going to be 250, I believe. Let's make sure. Oh, man, it is. I love when I'm right in the morning. So 250, 90 plus 20 plus 70 plus the other 70. And then we still have these like terms, which is going to give me 5x. So now I have 250 plus 5x equals 360. Subtract 250 from both sides. Would help if I followed my own rules and had my inverse operation line. 5x then equals 110. Divide by 5. Let's see what x equals. It's going to be 2. Should be 25, but let's see. 110 divided by 5. Nope, not 25, Mr. H. 22. And that's why I double check my work. So x equals 22. That doesn't help, or it doesn't tell me what HAB is yet. But let's make sure that we have another way to do this. So the second way, and I'm going to put a star next to it, the easier way for me to do this is to say, do I have a straight line with my x's? All of my x's are right there. So what does that straight line have to equal? Well, it has to equal 180. So I can say 2x plus 3x plus 70 equals 180. Let's make sure this gives us the same x value. It should. So 2x plus 3x is 5x plus 70 equals 180. Subtract 70 from both sides. That leaves me with 5x equals 110. Wait a minute. That will then leave me with x equals 22 again. So both of those are correct. Oh, sorry. But it wants me to find the measure of angle HAB. And yes, I didn't put this with an equal sign and a line. I apologize. On your quiz, you'll have that. But we're looking for the measure of angle HAB. Well, here's HAB, which is 3x. So what do I need to do to find it? I'm going to say 3 multiplied by 22. 3 multiplied by 22 because my x is 22. So now that leaves me with 66. 66 what? Degrees. So there's 2 ways to solve number 3. Last but not least, number 4 doesn't have a straight line with angles. It's not going all the way around, but there is this box. This box means all of that is 90 degrees. So we're looking for 3 angles, the measure of angle CDE, ADC, and EDK. So we're looking for all 3 of those angles, not just for x. So to start, I need to add them together. X plus 2x plus 3x equals 90. Combine your like terms. We know this x really is 1x. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6. So I have 6x equaling 90. If you're wondering again, why does it equal 90? Because these are a right angle. All of those are a right angle. Divide by 6. X equals, goes in once, leaves me with 15, I hope. Let's double check 6 times 15. Should be 90, should be 90, should be 90. Woo-hoo! Love when I'm right. So x equals 15. But it doesn't want us to find x. It wanted us to find these angles. So the first angle, and this is why it's important that you know how to look at your angles, says CDE. So I'm finding that 2x first. Well, to do that, it's 2 multiplied by 15, which gives me 30 degrees. Then it's ADC, ADC. That's x degrees. Well, x is 15, so that's 15 degrees. EDK is 3x. So that means 3 multiplied by 15, which is 45 degrees. If you really wanted to make sure, are these correct? All of them need to add up to what measure? They need to add up to 90. 30 plus 15 is 45. 45 plus 45 is 90. This works out. So there's 3 and 4. You will absolutely see a 4-question quiz that looks like this on Friday. Good luck.